If you love watching unbelievable talent, if you enjoy stories that inspire, shock, and completely take your breath away, then make sure you stick around with us. Every week we bring you the performances that shook the world, the auditions that nobody saw coming, and the moments that remind us exactly why talent shows are still magical. Now let's get straight into today's story, because what you're about to see is one of the rarest things to ever happen on the AGT stage.
Absolutely
It's the moment when a duo
That
not only
performance
performed,
was
but
just-
transformed the entire atmosphere of the room. They didn't just entertain. They left the judges breathless. The episode begins with the roaring audience filling the massive auditorium, buzzing with the unpredictability that AGT always brings. The judges sit behind the panel, ready to be wowed, already having seen singers, dancers, magicians, comedians, and everything in between. But nothing prepared them for what was about to walk onto that stage. Two figures appear from behind the curtains. A duo, but not the usual kind. They walk with a certain calm, a certain focus, as though they're not just stepping into a competition, but stepping into destiny. The camera pans across the judges. Simon leans forward slightly. Heidi tilts her head with curiosity. Howie narrows his eyes, trying to figure out what makes these two so different. Even Sophia raises an eyebrow, sensing something unusual. The hosts watch from the side of the stage with the mix of nerves and excitement that always comes when performers know they're carrying something special. The duo stands center stage, facing an audience that has no idea what is about to hit them. You can hear the distant thud of the bass from the stage speakers warming up. Lights dim. A single spotlight shines. The atmosphere shifts into something expectant. The duo introduces themselves simply, without theatrics, without big words, without hype. Just calm confidence. And then, with a single nod to each other, they begin. The first few seconds are silent. Suspenseful. The audience leans in. And then the music starts, a haunting, slow, cinematic tone that feels like it comes from a movie trailer. Their bodies begin to move in perfect synchronicity, but not like typical dancers. Their gestures slice the air with precision. Every movement lands with purpose. They bend, twist, glide, and elevate each other with a smoothness that looks almost unreal. They don't perform choreography. They create a story. The judges look stunned. Heidi puts a hand over her mouth. Howie leans forward as if trying not to blink. Sophia whispers something under her breath, amazed by the sheer control and fluidity they demonstrate. Simon, the hardest to impress, sits upright, silent, watching with an intensity rarely seen from him. But then comes the moment that changes everything. As the music builds, the duo transitions into a lift that looks physically impossible. One raises the other with a single arm, holding them aloft like a sculpture defying gravity. The audience gasps. The judges gasp. Even the people backstage react with shock, their eyes wide. The duo holds the pose for several seconds, defying not just gravity but expectation. They make it look effortless. And just as the crowd begins to clap, thinking that must be the peak of the performance, the duo takes it further. They flip and swirl, their bodies becoming one fluid motion. The energy rises. Every movement hits right on the musical beat. Their performance becomes a blend of athleticism, dance, storytelling, and raw emotional power. They don't just move. They make you feel something deep, something you didn't expect when they first walked out. The audience begins clapping in rhythm. Someone shouts in disbelief. The music intensifies until it reaches the dramatic final sequence. The duo charges toward the center of the stage, leaps, spins, and locks into one final breathtaking pose. Silence fills the auditorium for a split second, the kind of silence that only happens when 1,000 people collectively forget to breathe. And then the explosion of applause hits. The crowd jumps to their feet. The hosts backstage throw their hands up, celebrating. The judges stare in disbelief before standing as well, giving them a rare full panel standing ovation. Simon shakes his head, speechless. Heidi praises their beauty and precision. Howie says it was art in motion. Sophia says it was perfection. When it finally comes time for Simon to speak, he pauses. The room grows silent again. He tells them they just delivered one of the greatest duos performances he has ever seen on any talent show, anywhere in the world. He tells them they didn't just perform, they elevated the show. They changed the energy. They made everyone feel something. The audience erupts again. But the story doesn't end with the performance. The journey behind it is just as emotional. After leaving the stage, the duo shares how they trained for years, facing obstacles that made many people quit. Injuries, rejections, nights spent rehearsing long after studios closed. But they held on to each other. They believed in their vision. And now, standing on one of the biggest stages in the world, they proved every doubt wrong. Their audition goes viral. Millions of views within hours. Fans from all over the world comment about how they cried, how they felt chills, how this performance reminded them of what human connection looks like when expressed through art. Even celebrities repost the clip, praising the duo's talent and chemistry. In the following episodes, the duo continues to rise. Each round becomes a new challenge, but they push themselves, adding new risks, new choreography, new emotional layers. They don't rely on spectacle alone. They rely on meaning, on the connection between them that the audience can feel even from behind a screen. The judges grow more impressed each time. The crowd becomes more supportive. The tension builds as they reach the semifinals. Their performance there is darker, more dramatic. They tell a story of struggle and triumph through movement, and once again, the judges are left breathless. The audience chants for them. The hosts keep repeating that this duo is something special, something unforgettable. And then comes the finale performance, the moment that cements their legacy on America's Got Talent. The stage is covered in fog. A single beam of light shines down like a spotlight from heaven. The duo enters, dressed in outfits symbolic of their journey, one wearing dark tones, the other lighter, representing the contrast of their struggles and their unity. The music begins with a soft piano note. They move slowly at first, emotionally, telling a story of brokenness, loss, rebuilding, and unity. Then the music escalates, and so does their movement. They flip, spin, balance on impossible angles, lift each other with strength and grace, creating visuals that seem like they were taken from a movie scene. Every gesture speaks. Every emotion has meaning. And as they reach the final lift, the highest and most dangerous they've ever attempted, the crowd holds its breath again. They land it perfectly. The room explodes. Judges stand. Audience screams. People cry. Even the hosts look emotional. The duo stands in the center of the stage, breathing hard, overwhelmed by the roaring support. Simon says they deserve a place in the finals. He says they are one of the most deserving acts of the season. The audience agrees. Comment sections flood with support, fan videos, reaction videos, edits, and tributes. Their journey doesn't end on the stage. They go on to perform worldwide, gaining invitations from major productions, theaters, and artistic directors. Their AGT journey becomes the launchpad they always dreamed of. But no matter how many performances they give afterward, the one people always return to, the one that will forever be remembered, is their audition. The moment that left the judges breathless. The moment that reminded everyone why America's Got Talent is still magical. The moment when two individuals fused their hearts, bodies, and souls into a performance that transcended words. And that is the story of the duo that changed the stage forever. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most breathtaking moments in AGT history, make sure to join us again for more incredible stories, unbelievable performances, and the talent that shapes our world. Until next time, keep believing in your own magic, keep supporting true talent, and keep watching the performances that bring us all together.